Good morning and welcome to the CARE podcast, where we talk sports, leadership, and the mental game. I'm your host, Coach Bob Herb. Today's quote is one you've probably seen plastered on motivational posters and social media feeds everywhere. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Now, here's what's interesting about this quote. It's commonly attributed to Ralph Waldo Emerson, the famous 19th century philosopher. But here's the real story. This powerful statement actually came from a 1991 campaign advertising for Nike. Two women, Janet Champ and Charlotte Moore, at the Portland-based ad firm Wedden Kennedy. The campaign was designed to empower women, and somehow, over the decades, it got misattributed to Emerson. But you know what? The truth about who said it doesn't diminish the power one bit. Let's take a look at it starting with the sports world, where the mindset separates champions from everyone else. Think about a young basketball player who gets cut from his varsity as a sophomore. Right there, they have a choice. They can decide they're not good enough and quit, or they can decide they're going to make it later on to the varsity the next year. The ones who choose the second path, they're in the gym before school, staying after practices, working on their weaknesses until they become strengths. Sound familiar? In tennis, you see this all the time. A player loses a big match, and in that moment of defeat, they decide what they're going to be later on. Are they going to be the player that makes excuses about the win, the court, the calls? Or are they going to be the player who studies that loss, adjusts their game, and comes back stronger than ever before? Look at any comeback story in sports. Tiger Woods after his car accident, Michael Jordan after getting cut, Serena Williams coming back after the birth of her child. They all had moments where they decided that they were going to become, regardless of what their circumstances were. Now, let's talk about the mental side, because this is where the real battles happen. In the locker room, you can always spot the players who've made the decision about who they want to be. They're not waiting for someone else to define them. They're not letting last week's bad game or last season's injury dictate their identity. I've coached players who came through tough backgrounds, who had every excuse in the book to underperform. But the ones who succeeded, they made a conscious decision that their past wouldn't determine their future. They decided to be the player who shows up early, studies film, encourages teammates, and leads by examples. On the flip side, I've seen talented players who never made that decision. They let their natural ability coast them through youth sports. But when the competition got tougher, they didn't know how to decide to be someone who works harder. They stay comfortable being naturally gifted instead of deciding to become disciplined. The mental game isn't about positive thinking. It's about decision making. Every day you decide, am I going to be the person who does the work or the person who makes excuses? Let's expand this beyond sports, because the principles drive success in every area of life. That Nike campaign from 1991 was targeting women who felt trapped by expectations, whether from family, society, or their own limiting beliefs. The message was revolutionary. You don't have to become your mother, your circumstances, or what others expect. You get to choose. I know business leaders who grew up in poverty but decided they were going to be entrepreneurs. They didn't let their zip code determine their income code. I know teachers who decided they were going to be educators who change lives, not just collect paychecks. I know parents who broke generational cycles because they decided to be different than what they were expected to become or what they inherited. Here's the key. Circumstances influence us, but they don't control us. Your genetics, your upbringing, your past mistakes, they're part of your story, but they don't write your ending. Every morning you wake up with the opportunity to decide who you're going to be that day. So what does this look like practically? First, it starts with the honest self-assessment. Who are you right now? Not what you want to be, not what others think you are. Who are you actually being through your daily choices and actions? Second, it requires a decision about who you want to become. Not a wish, not a dream, a decision. There's a difference between I hope I become more disciplined and I'm deciding to become someone who follows through on commitments right now. Third, it demands daily choices that align with that decision. You can't decide to become a leader and then avoid difficult conversations. You can't decide to become an athlete and then skip workouts when you don't feel like being there. The beautiful thing about this mindset is that it puts the power back in your hands. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're an architect of your character. Here's your challenge this week. Make a decision about one area where you want to become someone different. Maybe you want to decide to become the teammate who builds others up instead of tearing them down. Maybe you want to become the student who asks questions instead of staying confused. Maybe you want to become the person who keeps promises to themselves and others. Whatever it is, don't just hope it. Decide it is happening. Then make choices to prove your decision every single day. Remember, you're not destined to repeat your past patterns, live up to others' low expectations, or stuck in your old habits. That person you become is entirely up to you. Listeners, we want to hear about the decisions you're making. What one area were you deciding to become someone different? Share your story on X using hashtag CareAgentsDecide. And let's celebrate the power of conscious choice. Thanks for tuning into the Care Podcast. Remember, you're not destined to become anyone except the person you decide to be. Make that decision count. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in next time as we continue to explore the mental side of the game of life. I'm Bob Herb. Keep deciding, keep becoming, and keep taking control of your story.